Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Assistant Attorney General Perez, there have been a lot of states recently that have been enacting so-called voter ID laws. Do you think that these voter ID laws in general raise serious questions regarding the denial of access to particular groups and warrant great scrutiny from the Civil Rights Division?
Well, there have been, as you correctly point out, Congressman Nadler, a number of states that have enacted these laws. In states that are covered by Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, they will be required to submit those laws to the Department of Justice for preclearance, or in the alternative, to file a complaint in the district court of the
and in states that are not covered by Section 5, would you review them under Section 2?
Yes, we have, and that was the second part of my answer, is we have authority under Section 2 to address issues that would include the voter ID context if, in fact, there's a determination that they constitute some form of discrimination in the voting context, and so those are the two.
Have you reviewed any of them and made determinations yet?
We are reviewing. We're certainly aware of all of the laws that have been passed, whether it's a covered jurisdiction or a non-covered jurisdiction, and each law is different, and so we apply the facts to the law, and we will do that in those circumstances to make an appropriate judgment.
Has the department pre-cleared photo ID and citizenship requirements in Section 5 jurisdictions yet?
There are examples of voter ID requirements that have been pre-cleared, and I'd have to get you the full answer of exactly which states. I don't recall off the top of my head. I believe Georgia might be one, and I believe in the prior administration there may have been one in Arizona, but I'm not sure if that was citizenship or voter ID. I can get you a full list.
Thank you. Now given the fact that most of these laws require that you get a photo ID or a non-photo ID from the Division of Motor Vehicles or something like that, and that getting those in many states require in turn that you get as a foundation document a passport or a birth certificate, which costs money to get in many states. Do you think that might be a violation of the poll tax?
Well, we're looking at all of the facts and circumstances of all the laws passed, and each state has a different set of circumstances, and so it's difficult to give a categorical answer without looking at the specifics of each particular law.
And you're looking at all of these laws now?
Yes, we are.
And recently, one of the states, I think it was Florida, passed a law that not only did voter ID, but essentially made it impossible to conduct voter registration drives. By making very onerous restrictions and liability on anybody who conducts a voter registration drive, so much so that the League of Women Voters said they would no longer do voter registration in that state. Are you going to be looking at that?
Well, Florida, there are a number of counties in Florida that are covered under Section 5, so if it constitutes a change to voting, then there would be, again, the pre-clearance requirements that I discussed.
Okay, and can you commit that you'll make sure we passed the National Voter Rights Act back in 1993, which requires social service agencies to provide voter registration opportunities. That has largely been unenforced. Will the Civil Rights Division be concentrating on making sure that law is enforced?
We have an aggressive program of enforcement of the NVRA. We have reached a settlement recently. It was the first NVRA Section 7 lawsuit in 7 years. We have a number of cases. It was in Rhode Island. We have a number of cases that we're taking a look at under Section 7, Section 8. And I agree with you that the motor voter law is a critical component of the broad effort to ensure access to the ballot. And so we will continue to aggressively and independently enforce the NVRA.
Because from where I sit, all of these constitute a very deliberate attempt to disenfranchise minority voters, young voters, older voters who are likely statistically and to a great extent not to have voter ID, et cetera, not to have driver's licenses and so forth. And I would hope that the malevolent effects of the malevolently intended laws will be properly examined. Last question I have. When this administration launched its version of the faith-based initiative, administration officials explained that the issue of hiring discrimination on the basis of religion in taxpayer-funded social service contracts and grants, which was a central aspect of President Bush's faith-based initiative, would be reviewed by the department. In December of last year, of 2009, you testified before the subcommittee that I quote, I think the department will continue to evaluate these legal questions that arise with these programs. Is the Civil Rights Division involved with this review, and what can you tell us about this review as of now?
The review remains ongoing, and again, we're committed to ensuring that we can partner with faith-based organizations in a way that is both consistent with our laws and with our values, and that we continue to address these legal questions that you have raised. We are not leading that effort in the department. Other components are involved in that.
Who?
I don't recall who is leading that effort right now, but it's not the Civil Rights Division.
Thank you. I see my time has expired. I yield back.